Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I've got my September wrap up for you. Alright, so September was a pretty decent reading month actually. Considering that I DNF'd 3 books this month, it was pretty decent. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. So the first book that I finished this month was Double Kisses. This is the 10th book in the Mountain Springs Omega series. This was really good. I actually really enjoyed myself while reading this one. And this one was probably one of my favorites in this series so far. This one just had so much heartache in it, and it got me misty-eyed in a couple of places, and it dealt with a lot of adoption and surrogacy and the heartache and heartbreak that comes with that. It was just really good. This one got a 4.5 out of 5 stars from me. Okay, so the next book that I read this month was actually completely unplanned. Kind of dived in because it was really good. And that would be Morning Glory Milking Farm. So this one is definitely not for those under 18. Like, check the warnings before you go into this one. This one is a monster romance, and it was really good. Completely, I had no idea what to really expect going into this other than, you know, what the basic premise was, and this one has been pushed pretty hard by the romance readers on Instagram, or I think it's Romance Landia, I think is what they call themselves over there. But this was just mind-blowingly good, and like from the premise, you know what you're getting into, kind of, but it also had like some of like the best urban fantasy world building that I've ever gotten from a book. If you're into urban fantasy, you might want to check out this book and this author, because the world building is just incredible, and you get to see a lot of fantasy type characters that you don't get to see really much outside of high fantasy books or outside of D&D games, and you get to see how like the world is built around these characters, like how grocery stores have to carry different foods for different species, how the architecture is in the buildings and how it has to accommodate people that are characters that are 7 or 8 feet tall, and you know, down to ones that are maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, and like all the different foods and like how restaurants conform to that. It was just so cool, and like the little details were so good, and really from a romance standpoint, this is really good. It's very steamy. Definitely not for those under 18. But if you guys like your urban fantasy with like a side of romance, check this one out. This one got a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I'm really excited to see what else this author has to offer. Alright, and then we come to my first DNF for this month, which was Circle of the Moon. I got 159 pages in before I had to just stop, because while I really love these books, this one was just kind of dragging for me. I will come back to this eventually because I really want to finish this one, but it was just really dragging. It just got so slow at some points, and I don't know, there was just no like let up of the dark things that go on in this book. And I guess I didn't realize that before, but I guess my reading tastes in the last few months have just been more like, I want to read something nice and fluffy. And while I really love the darkness of this book, I feel like that mixed with all the mundaneness and the monotony of like just doing things and going on investigation and, you know, going home and taking care of this, that got to be a little boring. So I will come back to this one eventually because I really do love the series, but that's where I'm at with this one. Okay, so next up is The Boyfriend Project. Oh my god, I love this book so much. This book made me laugh so much, and I almost cried in a couple places. Like, it was so good. And realistically, why the hell did I wait so long to read this? I think I got this for Christmas last year, and it's been sitting on my shelf for a while, and I've pushed it through a couple of different TBR piles. But oh my god, it was so good. Like, honestly, it was so good, and just, I love Luke and I love Oliver. They're just so sweet together, but also, like, they got their issues, but they work through that, and it's just, I love these two characters to pieces. I love their whole friend groups, really. I love them, and I cannot wait for the next book to come out, which is coming out in 2022. Oh, I don't know if I could wait that long, but this one got a full 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend it. So good. Okay, so my next DNF was The Mismatch. So I DNF'd this one because this is definitely not a romance book, and that's what it's billed as. It's billed as a romance, but to me it did not feel that way. It felt more like literary fiction novel than a romance. So the story is told between two different timelines, with Soraya and her mother as the main characters, and it goes back and forth, and it doesn't feel anything like a romance, because it's not. There is a little bit like of romance veiled over everything, but this just does not feel like romance. It's not happy. And I feel like Soraya as a main character was a little bit annoying, and this book is definitely not happy. It deals a lot with domestic abuse and emotional abuse and the diaspora of being an immigrant in a country that you don't necessarily speak the language, and racism and all sorts of things in this, and this was just not what I was looking for. Yeah, this one is one that I DNF'd. I think I got 30 pages in, and I just was not, it's not for me. So my manga for this month was Our Dining Table. This was so good. It was sweet and heartbreaking and lovely, and I love these characters to pieces. They are adorable. Just this whole story was just lovely, and it's kind of based around one simple act of kindness, and how food can bring people together, and how eating around a dining table can just bring you together, and like, it was so good. I highly recommend reading this if you haven't already. It's just so good. This got a solid 5 out of 5 stars, and like, definitely it's worth a reread too now. All right, and then we are on to Murderbot Diaries. So this is Rogue Protocol. This is the third book in the Murderbot Diaries. I really like this book. So Murderbot is definitely a lot more grumpy than we've seen it in the other two books. Like, Murderbot is downright unsociable. Not that it was sociable to begin with, but this one, the grumpy got to me a little bit in this one. But again, I still really love Murderbot. Murderbot is just a great character and really freaking relatable. This one got a 4 out of 5 stars. All right, and then we come to my third DNF for this month, and this is kind of an epic love story. I got 9 pages in, and I was just like, nope, not for me. The thing I think that really bothered me the most was that this book had in those 9 pages, there was a big focus on like virginity and, you know, losing your virginity, that kind of thing. I really didn't want to deal with that in like an entire book. So that was my reason for DNFing this for now. I didn't want that to be the entire book for me. I'm iffy on this one about if I'm going to read it again. Okay, and then some other unexpected books. So I read the entire run of the Shuri comics from 2018-2019. So I started off with Shuri Volume 1. So this is issues 1 through 5. So I really liked this one, gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So issue 6, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Issue 7 is probably one of my favorites. This one got a 5 out of 5 stars. I really like this one because it's crossover with Miss Marvel and Miles Morales as Spider-Man, and some of the Avengers are in it. Really liked it. It was really good. Issue number 8 got 4 out of 5 stars. Issue 9 also got 4 out of 5 stars. And issue 10 got 5 out of 5 stars. This last issue in this series was really good. It was just so different from any of the other comic series I read. So overall, I really enjoyed these Shuri comics. They were just really interesting. And I've never really read any Black Panther comics. I don't read Marvel comics. I'm more of a DC person, but Black Panther was a really great movie when I watched it a couple years ago. And I figured, you know, why not try the Shuri comics? These were really good. And now I kind of want to see more the Shuri comics in the Black Panther universe. So we'll see if that happens. All right, so that is what I read and didn't read in September. So my favorite books for September would have to be Boyfriend Material and Morning Glory Milking Farm. Both of those were so good. What did you guys read this month? Did you guys have a favorite? Let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already but would like to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more bookish stuff, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys.